Welcome to the first follow-up video for a What If Wednesday. This video is to address some of the comments on the first few videos, as well as go into a little more detail about design thoughts and rationale. I am going to jump right in with a comment from Zayad Maxalotl. These need a little bit of problem-solving card text revision to look more like actually officially made cards. There is definitely room for optimization with rules text, and I admit there probably should have been another round of proofreading and revision. I noticed some problems too late into the production cycle, but a few of the more baffling mistakes I chalk up to things getting stuck in working memory. This well-deserved criticism carries on to a comment from Skellingtron. I know a lot of people are talking about how the problem-solving card text need work, and it does, but it is pretty good, considering you're still new to custom cards, and at least it's similar to a lot of older card text. I like that you decided to make some of them level 2, so they can synergize with Melfi's, Rescue Cat, and Obedience Schooled. But I feel like the zombie versions should be a bit stronger if they're going to be restricted to only being summoned by a Zombeast effect. And I personally feel like the word turned is incorrect, as it makes it seem like they're a virus, and not the magical effects of some stone that assumedly doesn't do anything other than temporarily reanimate dead corpses. I designed the cards in 2019, so Obedience School was a direct consideration, but Melfi's were not designed around. I am not sure where the balance point is for how much attack the zombies could have before they get absurd. Rare Metal Dragon has 2400 attack, so maybe I should rebalance accordingly. As far as the naming convention, there is definitely room for debate. Words like undead, returned, reanimated, reborn, resurrected, and revived might be more appropriate, so I am open to suggestions on that front. On a similar note, McCaven07 describes an inconsistency. Just a few geographical points, for lore considerations. A couple of the animals you chose are not from the same regions as each other. Eyes are found in Madagascar only, and there are no wolves or pumas/cougars or panthers in Africa. Obviously, there's no such thing as unicorn, so that's fine. But if you're going for a cohesive feel for beasts, perhaps choosing an area where they all might find this pool would be appropriate. I think a bat would be a good substitute for the eye, and you could make the region that they're from based off of Eurasia or North America, perhaps. Mechanics-wise, I think this makes for an interesting archetype. Although I directly responded to this comment, I want to add a little bit more context. Type in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is pretty weird when you get down to it. So weird that I'm actually planning a video going through some of the odder typing choices in the game. I think another option to add more coherency might be to limit animal choice even further though. Perhaps just to primates. One more thing, don't insult yourself. Your suggestion is insightful and always appreciated. And finally, there is a comment from Jaeger. Just as a thought, I'd make the turned zombies tuners and the normal ones non-tuner, reasoning that the turned monsters are short-lived undead who decompose to make new life. I would also add some plant synchro monsters to support the archetype. As the undead rot away, they make way for new and twisted plant life to spring up in the forest, fueled by the undead and everything they ate during their undeath. For effects, I'd recommend something that shuffles banished cards into the deck as a cost. At least, that's the idea I got from the concept. This is tricky. The reason I made the Beasts tuner was because I still wanted the deck to be able to make synchro plays after activating Obedience Schooled. Furthermore, I made all the tuners retain the ability after turning to avoid confusion. It could be awkward otherwise since the naming convention is so similar. Beyond that, tuner balance is something that I need to think about. It is an interesting problem because too many tuners can lead to issues with the synchro mechanic. I am not sure where the ideal number is, and I am aware it varies from archetype to archetype. To me, the core of plant synchro is Lone Fire Blossom, Spore, and Dandelion or Glow Up Bulb, depending on which card is legal at the moment. I think adding one archetype plant for Lone Fire Blossom would be okay though. So here is Zombeast Molder, 1 star, Earth Plant, 0 attack, 0 defense. Effect. Once per duel, tribute this monster, then banish any number of Zombeast monsters from your graveyard. Special summon any number of Zombeast Moldling tokens up to the number of monsters banished by this effect. 1 star, 0 attack, 0 defense tokens. In defense position. These tokens cannot be used to special summon monsters from the extra deck, except for a synchro monster. I think I worded the card correctly to be able to banish itself, because that was the intent. Hopefully the summoning restriction will help to future-proof the card against unexpected extra deck summons, with the intent to help preserve the synchro feel for the archetype. This card should offer some good level modulating to access a wide range of synchro monsters, and I hope it will be a good option for recovery. And I think the once per duel restriction is tempered by Lonefire being such a strong tutor. This was a good suggestion on the first video, and some of the subsequent support does help to recycle banished cards. That is the commentary I have feedback for, and I just want to note that the support has been excellent as always. I've had this idea for quite some time, and the preliminary designs are in the background now. Originally, this archetype had to cope with Master Rule 4, but now instead it has to cope with Needle Fiber. I'm probably not going to do more custom cards for quite some time, and this series might have been too ambitious for an introduction. Future videos in the series will be taking on other topics, and I will try to make one long video to cover each topic completely. Then of course, there will be a similar follow-up video. To tease the next topic, I'm going to be tackling an idea from the Virtual World arc in Duel Monsters.